This is my very first air rifle. Single shot, self-contained power plant, and absolutely an effective tool for those who seek to get rid of pests without using a firearm. I've owned this specific rifle for almost 15 years now, and in those 15 years it served me exceptionally well. Honestly, one of the most popular videos on my channel is this rifle shooting 100 yards off the back of some janky chair. Back in the day when I picked this up, there were almost no budget-friendly, magazine-fed options for the airgunning community to go ahead and make use of. Single shot was where it was at. Didn't matter if it was that old 1322 multi-pump, the 2240 CO2 Crossman pistol, or any of the other things. Unless you had the money to get a Benjamin Marauder, which at that point was out of my reach, you didn't get a magazine. This is a significantly more modern pellet gun. The Hatsan Blitz in .30 caliber has an absolutely massive magazine straight from the Hatsan factory, completely changing the game from what we saw almost 15 years ago when I first made my foray into air rifles with that Big Cat 1200. The magazine options that have come to market in the last 10 years cannot be overlooked as far as how functional they have made air-powered arms. However, as the hands of time has passed, so has the technology improved in the airgunning world. Now we live in a day and age where the B&W S45 pellet gun is a real reality in multiple calibers: 9mm, 45 caliber, and 50 caliber, even though I've never touched or seen a 50 caliber one in my life, right? I only have the two other ones, the 9mm and the 45. What's the point? Now we're sitting at a precipice where the air rifle has never been closer in energy to its big brother counterpart. I know there's some ass haters out there that like to accuse me of being the reason the air guns will get regulated. But fortunately, anyone with a thinking brain can see that it's not me that will get these guns regulated. It is the sheer race for power and caliber with an air-powered design that will eventually lead to the regulation of these tools. Not me, right? It's not me. I have a very, very small subscriber base in the grand scheme of things. The S45 absolutely followed that trend and gave us a magazine straight from the factory, but it only gave us 6 shots. And these back plexiglass pieces are prone to failure. A lot of people have reported just random breakages under normal usage conditions, myself included. There's a video on my channel where I have, a mag that looks exactly like this one, literally blowing up. And even though it's a very low velocity, I did get a pellet spit back almost in my face, so it's on my channel, it is on film, it's not me just talking shit, it really did happen and it really was an issue. Enter Max Mags. Legitimately exist, legitimately work, legitimately were available. Here's the problem I ran into. Grab some popcorn, you're gonna want to stick around for this. These magazines are the absolute 100% safest upgrade that a person can give themselves as far as magazines are concerned with the Bintac S45. These are not prone to the same failures nor breakages that the standard magazines are because there is no back plexiglass piece to break. Additionally, these polymer casings are almost impossible to break under most normal user circumstances. They are pinned with stainless steel all the way through down to a 2-inch point in both directions. They are really, really strong. Why do I stress that? It's because the lack of strength on that back plate is what caused safety problems for the user base as a whole with the factory magazines. I know the people who make these things are probably like, why is he even saying this? You can't say that about our mag. But it happens, bros. Does happen, has happened, and I haven't had it happen on my stuff in a long time, but the fact that it could happen means that somebody needed to address it. The first batch did end up getting sent out, and the company ended up giving back about $2,000 in refunds because about 40% of the people who purchased them physically lacked the strength, physically lack the hand strength and dexterity to be able to load these magazines with what they consider to be an acceptable level of force. What do you do in a situation like that? You refund people's money. So that's what happened. And for those of you guys who might not be knowing what's going on in the background, right now my wife is undergoing surgeries, multiple at this point, to go ahead and put the final nail in the coffin on the fight with cancer. And we thought that the first surgery was going to be enough to go ahead and get us out of the woods. But as it turns out, she's going to have a secondary follow-up surgery here shortly. And it's not free, right? It's not free. Western healthcare costs money. So to know that I have this mountain of things that needs to be taken care of financially, it doesn't put me in the position to be in good conscience to try and fulfill 10 million orders. You know what I mean? It's a daunting undertaking to realize that 4 out of 10 things that you ship out to people could end up coming back to you. And honestly, let's be real, right? I'm one person. I'm a very small entity, very small individual. I don't keep large sums of capital around. So if people end up coming back and they're in the position where they hate the product and they want their money back, is very difficult for me. It comes directly out of my budget, my bills, the things I have to pay for. I value getting people's money back and being viewed as a person of integrity equally as much as I value anything else. I think the other thing about it, the real elephant in the room, is the fact that since air guns have gotten to a point where they're at, since pellet guns have kind of gotten to the point where they're at technologically and power-wise, energy-wise, repeatability, all these things, it's not my fault, but it's one of those facts of life that this industry is likely to be regulated within the next 10 years. It is what it is. If you think anything other than that, you're probably not paying close enough attention to what's actually happening in the industry. Here's the point. Right now, there's an absolute freedom, a wild, wild west of being able to do anything that you want to be able to do. If for whatever reason they wanted to go ahead and institute some type of regulatory policies, stuff like this is likely going to evaporate overnight because it might not be possible legally for this stuff to still be on the market. I know a lot of people have coined it as this, but it really is kind of the golden age for air gunners, where things are getting really, really, really enjoyable, really fun, really powerful, but there's still that open-endedness to it that, a lot of us really appreciate about this industry and about this hobby from the get-go. If you've stuck around in the video this far, I commend you. I know this is kind of a longer video talking with absolutely zero shooting in it whatsoever, but I felt like it was important to go ahead and drive a few points home. First off, you gotta have strong, dexterous hands, or have a strong, dexterous friend, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. But you're gonna have to have some physical strength required to compress that spring to this point and get it fully loaded. You don't need to pull these things all the way down at the get-go. You can incrementally do it. Basically, I'm just taking my thumb here and I'm moving that pink follower out of the way. Now the magazine is facing up. This is the side that will go towards the barrel. First pellet. Easy. Now you can see sitting like it needs to. Pull it down. Sitting like it needs to. I'm going to put one in wrong so you can see what it looks like. These three here, completely correctly loaded. You could load that right there into your S45 pellet gun, and you could shoot these no problem. I'm going to load this one incorrectly. I'm going to load this one wrong for you guys so you can see what it looks like. I'm going to pull it all the way down. My alarm is going off. It still went incorrectly. It's actually kind of difficult for me because I have the muscle memory down. Let's see if I can just drop one in wrong. Okay, there we go. That's an incorrectly loaded slug. Let me stop this alarm in my pocket. It's got to be terrible for you guys. That's what it's going to look like on the business end of it when an incorrectly loaded pellet comes up in play. And it's also going to go ahead and be an immediate stoppage on the gun, right? If you try and put this into your bore, it's just going to go ahead and dimple the shit out of the backside of that pellet, and it's going to go ahead and pull and keep the bolt from entering the barrel. Nothing negative will happen. You'll just go ahead and pull the bolt back on the S45, relieves the tension on the magazine at this tensioner follower right here, and you'll be able to remove it from the rifle. No tools necessary, right? No tools necessary to unjam this guy. There's a whole lot of advantages that people with eyes and brains can think about and see what's going on with these mags. But once again, there's only so many people out there who are really going to be in that boat of being able to invest the time and strength necessary to utilize them correctly to where they enjoy them as a consumer, as a user, as an air gunner. If you like this video, make sure you hit that thumbs up. If you want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe for more with that notifications button so you can stay current on the channel as well as when these videos come out. If you really like this content, make sure you share it so that other air gunners can see it and not catch you boys in the next one.